Hey y'all, picture this. It's a nasty, rainy night in Detroit, the kind where the streets look like they're crying as hard as you are, and I'm out here, just another nobody, driving my beat-up taxi through the downpour, wondering how I'm gonna make rent. My name's Jamal Carter, 42 years old, been grinding these city streets for nearly 2 decades, and tonight feels like the universe is piling on bills stacking up, my mom's heart meds costing more than my whole paycheck, and a dashboard clock blinking 11:52 p.m., mocking me with a measly $68 in fares for 13 hours of work. I'm bone-tired, staring at my own reflection in the rearview, dark skin etched with worry, gray creeping into my hair like it's trying to remind me I'm running out of time. Then I see her, this woman, soaked to the bone, standing under a flickering streetlight on Jefferson Avenue, clutching a little girl who's maybe 6, her tiny body shivering, head slumped against her mom's shoulder like she's barely holding on. Cars zoom by, splashing them with mud, not one of them slowing down, rich folks in their shiny SUVs, too busy to care. Something about that kid hits me hard, reminds me of my little cousin, Ty, who didn't make it through a fever like that years ago, back when we couldn't afford a decent doctor. I pull over, roll down the window, rain stinging my face, and I call out, "Ma'am, you okay? You need a ride?" She stumbles toward me, heels catching on the cracked sidewalk, her voice shaky. "Please. My daughter, Lily, she's burning up. We need a hospital. Too lost my wallet. My phone's dead. Our ride never showed." She's got this fancy coat, dripping wet, and a purse that probably costs more than my car, but her eyes? Pure panic, the kind that doesn't care about money or status. Every instinct screams, "Drive away, Jamal. You can't afford this. You're 3 days late on rent. You've been burned by, 'I'll pay you later' types before." But that little girl, Lily, lifts her head, her eyes glassy, fever making her look like she's fading, and I'm done for. "Get in," I say, and she scrambles into the back, cradling Lily like she's the only thing keeping her world together. "I'm Sarah," she says, voice cracking. "Sarah Bennett." "Thank you. You don't know what this means." I nod, make a sharp U-turn, and gun it toward Mercy Children's Hospital, the wipers barely keeping up with the storm. As we weave through empty streets, I catch glimpses of Sarah in the mirror, whispering to Lily, brushing wet hair from her face, kissing her forehead to check her fever. "What happened out there?" I ask, trying to keep her calm. She sighs. "We just flew in from Paris, business trip. Someone snatched my wallet at the airport, our driver bailed, and Lily started getting worse. I grew up here, thought I knew this city, but not like this." She laughs, bitter. "Some homecoming, right?" I don't say much, just keep driving. But her love for that kid, it's the same look my mom used to give me when I was sick, like she'd burn the world down to save me. We pull into the ER, and I jump out, open the door, help Sarah carry Lily inside. The kid's barely breathing now, her little chest heaving too fast. "Go," I tell Sarah. "I'll park." But I don't leave. 20 minutes later, I'm in the waiting room, still in my soggy taxi jacket, watching Sarah pace like a caged animal while the doctors work on Lily. She sits next to me, exhausted, and says, "You didn't have to stay." I shrug. Kid reminded me of someone. We don't talk much after that, just sit there, the hum of hospital lights filling the silence. Finally, a doctor comes out, says, "Miss Bennett, Lily's gonna be fine, viral fever, probably from the plane. She's on IVs, should be out in a few hours." Sarah nearly collapses, and I catch her arm, steadying her. "Thank you," she whispers, tears in her eyes. "If you hadn't stopped." I shake my head. Anyone would've. But she looks at me, dead serious. "No, Jamal, they wouldn't." It's 4 a.m. when Lily's discharged, and I drive them to Sarah's old family home in Grosse Pointe. This big, fancy mansion that makes my taxi look like a toy car. In the driveway, Sarah pulls something from her clutch, a small silver pin with a hawk and a fancy beat etched into it. "This was my grandmother's," she says, pressing it into my hand. "It's been in our family forever. You earned it." I try to give it back, but she's firm. "You're a good man, Jamal Carter. Don't let anyone tell you different." I pocket the pin, thinking it's just a nice gesture, not knowing it's the Bennett family crest, a symbol that's about to flip my life upside down. 3 weeks later, I'm driving down to Pontiac to see my mom, Elaine, for a family cookout at my cousin Derek's place. Mom's 76, sharp as ever, but her heart's failing, and her meds cost more than I can keep up with. Derek's house is nice, better than most in Pontiac, bought with his factory foreman money. He loves acting like he's made it, while I'm still the screw-up cousin who never left the taxi. I pull up in my cab, can afford a real car, and Derek's sister, Tanya, spots me first, smirking. Well, look who's still rolling in that junker. I help Mom out, her steps slow but proud, and we head inside, where the room's buzzing with relatives, all ready to roast me. Derek's holding court, loud as always. Jamal, my man, still hauling drunks around Detroit? The room chuckles, and I force a smile. Honest work, Derek. Uncle Ray, Derek's dad, jumps in. Honest, sure, but when you gonna get a real job? You're 42, man, what you got to show for it? The familiar burn hits my chest, but I say, I'm taking care of Mom. That's what matters. Derek laughs. Taking care of her? She's in that rundown rental. Can't even afford her pills, and you're out here playing taxi hero. The room goes quiet. Everyone's eyes on me, judging. These are folks I grew up with, who saw me as the kid with big dreams, law school. Maybe, and now I'm just the guy who never made it. Then it happens. I reach for my phone, and that damn pin falls out, clinking onto Derek's polished floor. He picks it up, eyes narrowing as he studies the hawk and bee. What's this, Jamal? He says, voice dripping with mockery. You pretending to be some big shot now? The room erupts in laughter. This is the Bennett crest, y'all, he announces, as in Bennett Enterprises, the folks who own half of Michigan. He holds it up like evidence in a trial. You want to explain this, cousin? You stealing rich people's jewelry now. I feel my face burn. Give it back, Derek. He dangles it out of reach. Oh, this is good. Jamal's out here acting like he's tight with billionaires. Tanya chimes in. Probably found it in his cab, made up some story about saving a princess. The laughter gets louder, crueler, and Uncle Ray grabs the pin, squinting. Boy, you steal this? How'd you get something like this? I'm drowning in their words. My mom's sitting there, her hands tied in her lap, forced to watch her son get torn apart. It's not stolen. I say, voice low, but Derek's on a roll. This is pathetic, Jamal. You're so desperate to feel important. You're carrying fake jewelry, pretending you're somebody. He pockets the pin, and I feel something break inside me. Then the landlord shows up, banging on the door. Elaine Carter, your rent's a month late. Derek doesn't miss a beat, yelling back. That's 'cause her son's too busy playing rich to pay her bills. The room buzzes with gossip, and I grab Mom's coat. Helping her up, we're leaving. As we head out, Uncle Ray lands the final punch. Jamal, you're 42. When you gonna grow up? You ain't never gonna be more than a broke taxi driver. We spend that night in my cab, parked outside a 24-hour diner, Mom sipping free coffee from a kind waitress. By morning, I scrape together enough for a cheap motel, but their words keep looping in my head. Pathetic, failure, fake. Tuesday morning, I hear engines big, expensive ones pulling into the motel lot. Through the curtains, I see 3 black SUVs, sleek as panthers, and out steps Sarah Bennett, not the desperate mom from that rainy night, but a powerhouse in a tailored suit, her hair perfect, her vibe all business. Behind her is an older guy, gray hair, suit screaming wealth, and little Lily, healthy now, clutching her stuffed bunny. Sarah knocks. Jamal, it's Sarah Bennett. I open the door, feeling like a mess, and she introduces the man. This is my grandfather, Charles Bennett. He shakes my hand, voice steady. Mr. Carter, I owe you a debt. I'm confused. What? Sarah explains. We heard about your family gathering, the pin. We know when our crest shows up. Someone called it fake, and we don't take kindly to that. My stomach drops. They know about the humiliation, my cousin's accusations. Charles cuts in. We know exactly how you got that pin, Jamal. Question is, you want to set the record straight. 20 minutes later, we roll up to Derek's house, where another family gathering's in full swing, neighbors spilling onto the porch, eating up Derek's lies about my stolen pin. The SUVs pull up, and the whole block goes silent. Sarah steps out, all confidence, Charles behind her, his presence sucking the air out of the yard. Lily hops out, looking around like it's a field trip. Everyone knows Charles Bennett is names on hospitals, skyscrapers, the kind of money that could buy Pontiac twice over. Charles calls out, I'm looking for the Carter family. There's been a mix-up about my family's property. Derek steps forward, trying to play it cool. Mr. Bennett, sir, I'm Derek Carter. We found some jewelry. Might be yours. Charles's voice turns icy. Found? Funny, because that pin was given to Jamal Carter for saving my great-granddaughter's life. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Sarah steps up, eyes locked on Derek. 3 weeks ago, Jamal found me and Lily stranded in a storm, drove us to the hospital, stayed all night, asked for nothing. That pin, it's our family's highest honor, given to people with real character, something you might not understand. Derek's face goes pale, and Uncle Ray looks like he's shrinking. Charles continues, someone called Jamal a liar, a thief. Let me be clear, he's under our protection. Question his integrity, you question ours. Derek fumbles, pulling the pin from his pocket. Mr. Bennett, it was a misunderstanding. Sarah cuts him off, because he's humble, doesn't brag about saving a kid's life. Lily runs to me, hugging my legs. Uncle Jamal, you saved me. Are you going to live with us now? That kid's smile, man, it hits harder than any speech. Charles offers me a job. Work for us, Jamal. Good pay. Your mom gets the best care. I look at my cousins, their jaws on the ground, and I could rub it in, could make them eat their words. But I say, Mr. Bennett, I appreciate it. But if I take this to prove them wrong, I'm no better than they are. I don't need their respect if it comes from your money. I know who I am. Charles smiles. That's exactly why we want you. 6 months later, I'm in the Bennett's and Arbor estate, not just a driver anymore, but someone they trust managing schedules, handling problems, even advising Charles on deals, not because I know business, but because I know people. I'm in his study one day, and he says, Jamal, Sarah's moving to London, expanding our offices. She won't go without you, and Lily's begging for you to come. Vice President of International Operations shows that sound. Vice President. 6 months ago, I was sleeping in my cab. I say, Sir, I don't know international business. He laughs. You know loyalty, integrity. That's what we need. I drive Lily to school that day, her chattering about London like it's a big adventure. Will you still help with my homework? She asks. Always, I say, and she beams. That night, I call Mom, now living in a top-notch assisted living place, all paid for by the Bennetts. London's far, she says, but you've earned this, Jamal. Not the job the man you are. 2 weeks later, I'm back in Pontiac, saying goodbye. Derek's outside, raking leaves. He sees me, hesitates, then says, Heard you're doing big things. I nod. I'm blessed. He looks down. I was wrong, Jamal. I was jealous, mean. I'm sorry. I shrug. We're family, Derek. We mess up. I don't hold grudges. He smiles, small. Take care over there. I walk away, knowing this town shaped me, good and bad. In London, I'm settling into my new life, rain tapping the window like an old friend. Back in Detroit, Mom watches me on the news, opening a Bennett-funded shelter designed to give people not just a bed, but a chance at dignity. In Pontiac, Derek keeps a magazine clipping about me, not to brag, but to remind himself sometimes the people we judge harshest are the ones we never really knew. So what do you think? Was I right to let go of the grudge, or should I have made them sweat? Drop a comment. Tell me your take. Have you ever been judged wrong, or maybe judged someone too quick? Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep sharing stories that make us think twice about who we are.